Good morning and welcome to News Lounge. I'm Tom Hartley.
And I'm Maritza Munoz, and we will be your hosts every Thursday and Friday mornings.
And over here we've got Georgie covering our sports for Thursday and Friday. How are you doing this morning, George?
Good, thanks guys.
That's
good to be here.
Good to hear from you.
What have you got for us in sport today, Georgie?
Well, it's been a pretty big week with the Melbourne Cup. I know you guys got down there on Tuesday, but we've got some women's rugby in store and a couple of other things, so keep
Sounds great. Can't wait to hear that. Later on, we'll also be introducing you to Amber Dermody from Salad Social.
And also we've got Kathy over here doing the news. What have you got in store for us today, Kathy?
Well, we've got lots of highlights about the US election and unfortunately a few tragic stories in there as well. But yeah, I heard you guys had a great time down at the races yesterday. Was it lots of fun?
It was
We
fantastic.
had some awkward moments, some fun moments.
Yeah, we've got a little blooper reel online as well.
do.
If you guys should check that out.
Head to our Facebook page.
Yeah, on
we'll
our Facebook.
We'll upload it there. Let's get stuck into the news. Catherine, what do you have?
No worries. We're making news today on Thursday, the 8th of November, 2012. US President Barack Obama has defeated Republican Mitt Romney to serve a second presidential term. Obama told his supporters the best is yet to come at the Chicago Victory Party and renewed his promise to fight for the middle class and the American dream. He says the election trial was hard, but with the support of the American people, they picked themselves up and fought their way back. Subsequently, an image of Barack Obama and Michelle Obama embracing after the election result was then announced has become the most retweeted image in history. The Sunshine Coast Hospital Board has called for staff to self-nominate for voluntary redundancies after it announced approximately 110 jobs will be cut. Nurses and frontline staff are worried they will have to pick up the slack after Beth Moll from the Queensland Nurses Union says representatives were told there is an oversubscription of applications for redundancy packages. Hospital administrators say there will be no forced terminations. A man was found dead in his prison cell at Maryborough Correctional Centre early yesterday morning. Prison staff pronounced the 30-year-old man dead after discovering the body at 2:30 a.m. The man had been serving a sentence for a number of offences, including break and entry, and was due for parole next month. Further investigations will be carried out. A Queensland soldier and 9 others have had their names added to the Roll of Honour for Remembrance Day on Sunday. Gympie's Corporal Ashley Burt was one of the 3 soldiers killed in Afghanistan last year. More than 102,000 Australians are currently listed on Canberra's War Memorial Wall. The Queensland man has been seriously injured when his plane crashed into a field near Beaudesert afternoon yesterday. Emergency services were called after the pilot was forced to make an emergency crash landing. He was flown to the Prince Alexandra Hospital where he's being treated for minor injuries and a fractured leg. The pilot was the only one on board and no one else was hurt. The Communist Party of China is set to begin their leadership transition through a 6-day Congress meeting where the new cabinet will also be revealed. The meetings are a once-in-a-decade event. Xi Jinping is expected to be the successor of the presidential replacement current leader, Hu Jintao. Women who suffer post-sex blues are wanted for a Queensland University of Technology study. Researcher Robert Schweitzer, after a successful study in 2009, is looking to confirm findings that 1 in 3 women suffer dysphoria, the experience of negative feelings after consensual sex. Fans of the band Dark Horses featuring Tex Perkins can expect an exceptional lineup with special guest Mix Nogo performing at the Zoo in the Fortitude Valley tonight. Tex is a Darwin-born singer-songwriter known best for his fronting the cover band The Cruel Sea. Workplace Health and Safety Queensland have launched an investigation into the death of an Ergon Energy worker who was killed almost instantly when he was bitten by a taipan snake. Andrew Vaughan was building a path through bush to a nearby power pole near Yeppoon when he was attacked. A 14-year-old is dead after her unlicensed sister crashed the ute they were travelling in on the Fraser Coast yesterday. Ophelia Silcock died instantly when the car her sister, 15-year-old Curtsy, was driving smashed into a tree only minutes from their home around midday. Curtsy was taken to the Gympie Hospital suffering shock and minor injuries and is being comforted by her devastated family last night. And an emotional final for the 2012 season of Nine's reality show Big Brother, winner Benjamin Norris proposed to his boyfriend live on air. After winning $250,000, the openly gay Ben Norris got down on one knee to ask his boyfriend, Ben Williams, to marry him in front of an estimated 1.5 million viewers. He said he had always planned to use the publicity to express his love. Federal MP for Moreton, Graham Perrott, was pleased to hear the news of the proposal. He said he wishes to congratulate Benjamin Norris on winning Big Brother, and he wishes the couple all the best in the future. Further high wind warnings and coastal flood warnings have been issued for New York City and southern New York. Damaging winds of 40 to 56 kilometres per hour with gusts of 105 kilometres per hour are expected. Flights have been grounded to and from New York City. Greenslopes Private is the first hospital in Queensland to provide surgeons with the latest technology for radical prostate robotic surgery. Surgeons will use improved 3D HD vision for less invasive procedures. Aussie larrikin Rolf Harris received the Officer of the Order of Australia from the Queen's Birthday Honours list today. He was acknowledged for his service to the entertainment industry, international relations and various charities through the promotion of Australian culture. And in breaking news today, at least 4 people have been killed and 7 are missing after a 6-storey shopping centre collapsed in Ghana yesterday morning. Desperate rescue attempts have so far retrieved 39 survivors from the collapse in the country's capital, Accra. Presidential campaigns for the upcoming December 7 elections have been suspended in the wake of the tragedy. The cause of the collapse has yet to be determined. Guatemala suffered an earthquake of the magnitude of 7.4 on Wednesday, killing at least 39 people and injuring others. Evacuations as far as Mexico City have been triggered. The earthquake hit at 10:30 a.m. and is the strongest earthquake to hit Guatemala since 1976. That's all in news, but I'll be back later in the program with a quick recap of today's main stories. Back to you, Tom and Maritza.
Thanks very much. Alrighty, so now we're going to head over today for the weather. A bit of a recap from Georgie. How's it looking, George?
It's looking pretty good in the southeast, but it's a different story around the rest of the nation. So I'll get into it.
Absolutely.
Brisbane is in for a mostly fine day with a chance of a shower this morning. We can expect light to moderate north to northeast winds with a minimum temperature of 18 and a maximum of 27. The Gold Coast can expect a mild day with a maximum of 26 degrees. The Sunshine Coast will be partly cloudy and 25. Ipswich can expect a mostly sunny day at a top of 30 degrees. Around the state, Cairns can expect a sunny, warm and humid day with a top of 29. Townsville a warm and sunny day at 30 degrees. Mackay also sunny and 29. Rockhampton clearing, morning cloud and a sunny day with a top of 29, and Mount Isa can expect another hot day, a top of 35, but should see some relief with the thunderstorms developing later in the day. And in other capital cities around the country, Sydney will be a max of 24 degrees with a few showers and storms, and that's all we've got time for today. Guys?
No worries.
It's time for us to go to the break, but please don't go away. When we come back, we'll be talking to Amber Dermody from Salad Social. That's all coming up.
Welcome back to News Lounge. Now, are you somebody like me? I download an app, you see, and I think I'm going to use it a lot of times, but at the end of the day, I end up using it about once. But today we've got Amber Dermody, who's a woman who knows how to make use of every single app on her phone.
Amber is the founder and editor of the Brisbane-based website Salad Social, which is a technology opinion blog. She's here today to give us a few tips on making good use of your apps. Welcome, Amber, to News Lounge.
Very welcome. So, Amber, tell us a little bit about Salad Social, how it came about and why you decided to start it.
Yeah, absolutely. Salad Social is a basic social media technology news and opinion blog, also covering topics such as music, marketing, startups and apps, obviously. So I decided to start Salad Social because I felt that there was a need in the market that wasn't being met. Number one, we sort of were getting mainly most of our news and social media sort of articles from American bases, and I thought that we needed something a little bit more local. I also thought that we were missing out on grassroots level news from startups around Australia as well. So that was basically the driving force behind Salad Social.
How long has your site been up and running, and what plans do you have for it in the future?
Yeah, sure. We launched in late June, so we're still early days, but so far seeing some really good success in terms of our readership and in terms of our followers. Basically, the plans for next year would be an expansion of our writers throughout Australia and hopefully into Asia, where we can start covering more of the Southern Hemisphere as a news source.
Sounds good. So what social media or marketing tools are you using so far?
Yeah, sure. Well, obviously being a startup, we are very conscious of our funds. And so I've been using a lot of social media and social networking tools to enable me to get followers and readership. So basically we've been using Facebook, Twitter as our main sort of marketing tool at the moment, which is going really well, as well as our Pinterest, which is obviously a new social media medium that is sort of taking the world by storm at the moment. So we've had some really good success from those in terms of turning some readership over.
I can personally say that I'm pretty addicted to Pinterest. I spend hours on Pinterest. But like all businesses, there are obstacles. What sort of obstacles have you had to overcome in your journey so far?
Absolutely. I think with any startup, you can do as much market research as you want, but it's not until you actually get into the game and into the field that you can realise some of your shortfalls. So for us, I think, obviously being a startup, like I've said, we've got certain funding issues that we've had to overcome by looking at outside of the square marketing techniques and mediums. But we've enjoyed a really strong organic growth and some support from obviously Brisbane and as well as Australia within the community. So aside from funding and sort of trying to bring on new topics that keep interesting and keeping people engaged every week, I think we're doing pretty good so far.
Awesome. So the name Salad Social actually comes from one of my favourite TV shows, The Simpsons. So tell us a little bit of why you chose that name.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm obviously a big Simpsons fan as well, and I decided that I wanted a name that was catchy and one that sort of resounded to our target audience, which is obviously sort of the Gen Y, Gen X, it's Gen Z kind of market. So I just thought it would be a really fun name. It was catchy. We obviously used the pun, make friends with salad. We had recently another music site called Sound Pond saying, we made friends with salad, which was actually a really good marketing spin for us because they have quite a huge following and a lot of comments on that. So it's been a really good marketing tool for us in terms of make friends with salad.
So how many friends, sorry, not friends, how many writers do you have at Salad? Well, friends as well.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sure you have a lot of friends with Salad Social,
Yeah,
but how many
absolutely.
writers do you have on board and how can people get involved with that?
Yeah, sure. Basically, we've got about 11 writers on board at the moment from all different types of areas, from marketing, PR, app developers, software developers, a whole wide range of different people that are either in their own business, are writers by trade, or in the public relations field. So we've got a really good eclectic bunch of people that know what they're talking about and can write engaging and interesting content. So we're very lucky.
And so if someone wanted to be involved with that and get
Absolutely.
involved with your company,
if
how
somebody,
would they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. If somebody wants to get involved with Salad Social, they can just visit our website at saladsocial.com or just send us an email, info@saladsocial.com and tell us what they want to write about.
Okay, so like you said before, or like I said before actually, you make use of every single one of your apps. Now I find this hard to believe because I've got a few silly ones on there myself. What sort of apps do you use the most of?
Yeah, well, I suppose getting away from, if you're talking in terms of business apps, obviously a very big fan of Dropbox, which is obviously, something that allows me to use the cloud to my advantage. But my favourite personal apps would have to be Shazam, which is, do you guys notice it yet?
Love Shazam.
Handy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very handy.
For those who don't know Shazam, it basically will listen to a piece of music and tell you what the artist and what the song is, so you can download it from iTunes. But I'm also going on holidays at the end of the year, so the TripAdvisor app is sort of my most frequently used app at the moment. So where
overseas when you're using the TripAdvisor app, how helpful is it really?
I think it's really helpful. I'm hoping that it's going to enable me to plan my trips really well and get the best tours that I possibly can.
So
Yeah.
just if you had to estimate, how many apps would you have on your iPhone, on your iPad combined?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I've probably got about 50, I would say, all up, and that might be a little bit of an underestimation. I haven't gone through and counted them, but I definitely use most of them on a regular basis. I don't like to have apps that are just sitting around and not doing anything, so I do a regular cleanup.
And what about those apps? You know, you see them there, there's the light versions, and then for me, it's all black and white with the apps.
Sure.
You get the light version or there's the free version, but they've got all the ads, and then the deluxe. Is it really worth buying like the full version of an app?
I think so. It really depends on how often you use the app and whether you're a fan of, obviously, you know, the developers and what the app can do for you. I think in these days when you get so much for free, you know, why not buy, you know, a $2 app that can go towards the people that have developed something and a great product. So I think, you know, if you use it a lot, why not upgrade? Absolutely. But for the time being, if it's serving its purpose, just keep with the free, better version.
And just to close, what advice would you have for people that are looking at buying more apps but are kind of new to the world of technology?
Yeah, sure. I guess just make sure that you do your research. Different phones or different devices will have different apps available to them. And just also make sure that you don't, that you read the reviews on apps and that you don't buy an app without trialling it first or at least reading a review.
Wonderful. We'd like to thank Amber for her time on News Lounge today. Thank you, Amber.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Amber.
She'll be joining us again next Thursday with a special guest.
Excellent. So just closing on that really quickly, Maritza, what's your favourite app?
Pinterest, Instagram, probably. What's
Bit of an
yours?
Instagram fiend myself.
Yeah,
Facebook
Instagram's
never
good.
goes astray as well.
No,
It's
that's
always
true.
buzzing in
Facebook.
my hot little hand.
Yes.
What about you, Kathy?
I'm pretty bad when it comes to app technology, so Facebook's kind of my limit. I don't have any of the cool stuff. I'm, a bit boring really.
So a bit surprised there. You're a pretty cool chick. Alrighty, that's all we have time for until
This
after the
section.
break for this section. We'll see you back shortly.
Welcome back to News Lounge. Georgie, on sport, we didn't ask you before, what's your favourite app and why?
Oh, well, I actually have been known to let my petrol get very low in my car before I refill. I've had it displaying 0 kilometres. So I've got an app on my phone that's around me. So when I get in a sticky spot like that, I can find the nearest petrol station. It's come very in handy. It saved me quite a few tow trucks.
Sounds like a perfect app to
Yeah.
have on your phone. Very handy.
For me, anyway.
For those of you who just tuned in, we were just talking to Amber Dermody from Salad Social, and if you want more information, you can visit her website at www.saladsocial.com.
And if you accidentally type in social salad like I did before, it's still going to come up because she's got both domain names.
Perfect.
So now it's time to head back over to George for what's in sport and weather recap.
Let's do it. The draw for the inaugural Women's Rugby Sevens World Series has been announced, with Australia opening the tournament against the Netherlands on November 30th in Dubai. Also in the girls' initial draw is USA and France, who they'll be playing later in the day. Chris Lane, Qantas Women's Sevens coach, has said that there were no easy pulls in the inaugural tournament, adding his side was focused on claiming the Dubai title. Josh Spence has been signed by the New York Yankees, becoming the second Australian to join the iconic baseball franchise after Graham Lloyd. Spence debuted on June 25th, 2011 against the Atlanta Braves and knocked out 3 of their All-Stars. The signing comes after a 2-year stint with San Diego Padres, where he made 51 appearances. Jake Galvin and Isaac Helkanui, 2 promising young NRL players, were convicted of assault and robbery at the Southport District Court yesterday. The pair assaulted and robbed a 77-year-old Pizza Hut delivery driver in 2011. The attack forced Arthur Taylor into early retirement after he suffered a near-death heart attack due to the incident. It marks the 3rd occasion Helkanui has appeared for violent robberies since 2011. After suffering a hamstring injury last week, batsman Ricky Ponting is set to prove his fitness ahead of Friday's opening test against South Africa at the Gabba. Ponting told the media his physios have mapped out a rigorous schedule to help him get back into shape, including sprint work and running. Ponting is confident that his teammates are in fine form and ready to play. Ex-NRL star Darren Lockyer said England shouldn't be worried about their increasing number of players coming to play for us, Australian teams. He believes players leaving the English Super League will only benefit the country's rugby league reputation when they rejoin the British national teams. This comes after former England hooker Scott Moore signed a 2-year contract with the Cowboys last week. In Alice Springs, the 2012 FFA National Indigenous Football Festival has kicked off with 14 teams across Australia. Teams have travelled from as far as Perth all the way to Jervis Bay, New South Wales, to battle out for the crown of national champions. The festival uses a modified format of 5 versus 5, with games comprising of 2 12-minute halves. Currently in both boys and girls divisions, the New South Wales Sharks are dominating the competition. The festival participants were also given educational talks about illicit drugs in sports by festival ambassadors Casey Werman and Lena Karmas. Ipswich Cricket Club will play host to a herd of Bulls Masters in the name of a charity Saturday week. Before the following Sunday's game against the Ipswich Invitationals, the Sportsman's Dinner seeks to raise money to fund 2 local boys to help develop their cricketing careers. And that's all we have in sport for today. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Georgie.
Very well done.
What did you think about those assault cases for the NRL players, especially since they're so promising in their careers?
It is upsetting.
And that poor pizza bloke,
I know.
77 years old.
And
Forced into an
assaulted.
early retirement. He must have wanted to go for a lot longer, I say.
Stellar career.
Yeah,
he had going
delivering
there, definitely.
pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's go to Catherine now for a recap of our news headlines. Catherine?
Thanks, Maritza. Recapping our news for today. US President Barack Obama has defeated Republican Mitt Romney to serve a second term. A man was found dead in his prison cell at the Maryborough Correctional Centre early yesterday morning. The man had been serving a sentence for a number of offences, including break and enter, and was due for parole next month. Investigations will be carried out into the man's death. At least 4 people have been killed and 7 are missing after a 6-storey shopping centre collapse in Ghana yesterday morning. Rescue attempts have so far retrieved 39 survivors from the collapse in the country's capital, Accra. A further high wind warning and coastal flood warning has been issued for New York City and southern New York. A 14-year-old is dead after her unlicensed sister crashed the ute they were travelling in on the Fraser Coast yesterday. And that's all in the news from me today, guys. Back to you.
Thanks, Catherine.
Kathy.
Some pretty devastating stuff happening around the world.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of devastating, I'd just like to point out my moustache here, which I'm actually trying to grow, not as a dare, but for Movember. So far, I've only raised a measly $12, which is a bit sad considering none of my family have even bothered donating.
That's devastating. That
So basically,
as devastating.
This is quite devastating.
It
But
is
this is my plug.
devastating.
I'm urging you, our viewers, however many or not many there might be. If you jump onto News Lounge, this is our logo just here. If you jump on onto Facebook, search for that logo, and you can find out a way to donate there. There's the link on the bottom of the screen there.
And it's not just Tom, it's everyone. It's Movember. It's a fantastic cause to support for prostate cancer, I believe it is.
Yeah,
is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
That's correct.
It's a shame not to see that we're not seeing you girls growing your mows.
Moustaches?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry, can't really help you out with that one.
I'm pretty sure if we tried to grow our moustaches, we'd be going on for about 5 years. So
Yes, probably.
you'll
Hopefully
have a
a
lot
little
more
bit longer
success
than
than 5
5
years.
Yeah, you're saying it's possible to grow a moustache in 5 years.
I don't know. We can always get the little stick-on ones.
So we'll be back
Yeah.
for News Lounge in 5 years with the bearded lady.
That's it. That's
I'm
it.
looking forward to that
we'll
one.
have
That'll
those.
be fun.
That's it. We'll
That's
just
all
be appearing with
To
beards.
get some stick-on ones maybe for later in the month, you know, just get some Movember happening, get a bit of
That's true.
money going for
Well,
News
tell
Lounge
you
Movember
what.
team.
I'll tell you what, if we can raise, let's say, $100, I think that's a good enough amount for me. If we can raise that, I will wax my moustache on live television on the last episode
That's a big
of
call.
the month of November.
Big
I think
call.
people would want to see that.
I
might-
don't know.
I'll
I
tell
don't
it.
know. That's
Can
a
I
big
wax
call.
you? No, I probably shouldn't. I've never waxed
I
you.
might get a professional in. No
Yeah,
offence,
we
Kathy,
should-
but I've
sorry.
seen what you're like with the wax.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Not a
Probably,
pretty sight.
no, we don't want
Patches
blood
over
or...
hands
I don't know.
everywhere.
Like, females themselves tried to avoid waxing and pain as much as possible, so that's a pretty big call, Tom. You
Well,
sure you want to make that
They're
call?
not doing a very good job of it in the pain sector. Oh, I've heard some screams coming from my sister's room with the wax.
Not too good, not too good.
Awkward. All good.
I think it could make for some great TV.
Oh, definitely.
I really do think so.
Definitely.
So let's talk about what else is coming up in Brisbane this month. November, it's a pretty big month. We've got cosplay, I do believe, this weekend. On Tuesday, I think it was, they were talking to Jemima and Felicity Blake from Supernova. Anyone planning on heading to Supernova?
No, but I do have some friends I know that they're getting very excited about it. They're getting all dressed up, seeing all their photos on Facebook of their costumes. So there are some very dedicated Supernova fans out there. So if you are going, head out. I'm sure it'll be a great day. There's always lots of fun and costumes.
Sure. So,
Definitely.
Georgia, you planning on heading out?
I've been there once before and I felt a little bit out of place. So I know they were being very welcoming,
good
but
for
my
it, are you,
costume
George?
my costume didn't match up to theirs.
What were you
so
wearing?
Regular clothes. Didn't quite compare.
Well, that's not really dressing up then, is it?
No.
That's all right. Well, that's all the time we've got. That's all the time we have left, actually, for News Lounge today.
We'll be back tomorrow morning.
See you then.